Hey there, everybody. I'm CCB Dolan here with CCB Frozzy, bringing you the match We Can't Afford This in red versus Last Huzzah in blue. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the subs they brought?
So on your screen there in front of you is a gorgeous ship that we don't see very much in the tournament, the Korax Caldari Missile Destroyer. It looks like a submarine, because this is, of course, a submarine simulator. And they are bringing what begins as a pretty standard Sleipnir team. Triple Sleipnir, Basilisk, which is usually a scimitar, but Basilisk is a fine choice. But then it goes into a small missile support. So Korax and Triple Kestrels, it's a very interesting choice. We'll have to see how it works out. Probably light missiles. And then Last Huzzah has brought a drone team with no Dominixes. So it's Myrmidon, Triple Ishtar, Vexor Navy, and Triple Incursus.
Well, the Ishtar and Vexor Navy issues were the mainstay of the end of the Alliance Tournament 11 finals. Some might say actually more versatile than the Dominix. Dominic's a little bit easier to fly, a little bit easier to apply your damage, but Ishtar is able to do just as much damage.
Yeah, and Ishtars are, of course, a lot more mobile, which is really, really, really valuable. Those Korax and Kestrels are, in fact, light missile fit, so they're going to have the advantage of being frigates that can hit from extreme ranges, better than any other Tech 1 frigates. So we do have a small delay on the start. You see on the bottom of your screen there the bands. The red team is banned the Aneros and the Golem, and then the blue team banned something that I completely forget about at this point because now it's off the screen. But we've seen both teams move in with their support all the way at the back. Their Basilisk and Kestrels and Korax for the We Can Afford This team, and the Myrmidon and Ishtars all the way at the back for the Last Huzzah team. But then they've left some other frigates and other such up at the front. The Sleipnirs are up at the front, and the Incursus are up at the front.
Here we go, and we're finally off here. We're going to have to see the initial drone drop here for Last Huzzah.
It is Curators and Bouncers.
Yep. Sleipnir's Kestrels are going to have to come in at least within sentry drone range, even with that extreme light missile range for a T1 frigate and a destroyer. But already Incursus' tanks being tested across the Last Huzzah team.
Yeah, so these Incursuses, instead of trying to tackle and hold down...
That chunking of that Basilisk.
Yes. Basilisk taking a lot of damage from those Ishtar sentries, and he's webbed.
Yeah, so that Basilisk is going to evaporate here. That's going to be the Basilisk down.
That was excellent piloting by those Incursuses. They looped around out of the way of those Sleipnir so they didn't die on the way in and got on top of the Basilisk. But he has now broken the web, so maybe he'll be able to survive a bit longer. The Basilisk is now tanking pretty hard.
But that's an overheat ASB. That's like, he's really, really trying to tank as hard as possible, but he's still going to be catching all that sentry damage. The web scrammer back on now. He's going to be slowing down, taking even more damage here.
Meanwhile, at the same time, we've got those light missile Korax and Kestrels trying to pick off the Incursus. So they're firing the Incursus.
Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, that is a huge, huge hit for the. We Can't Afford This. The Sleipnirs are going to have ASBs, of course, to be able to tank themselves, but the Korax and Kestrels especially are going to be very vulnerable. So as the Incursus, that's going to be your next target, while the drone guys will go after whatever target is closest to them, which will be one of the Sleipnirs.
And losing the Basilisk, even if you trade back all of your Incursuses, is still a fine trade. Those Ishtars are so fast and able to supply so much damage at such range that you're not going to really have any trouble with the Kestrels or the Sleipnirs.
Yeah, if you're the We Can't Afford This team, what you need right now is you need to have a web appear on one of, or a scrambler appear on one of the Ishtars or the Vexor Navy issue. Because what they've done is they've dropped their sentries and spread out across the arena. One on the Vexor Navy issue, not as good as having one on the Ishtar, but they'll take it, I'm sure. And they're going to have to chase down each of these drone ships one by one, because they are doing the right thing and spreading out all over the arena. They're not too close. They're not as spread out as I'd kind of like them to be if I was them, but they are a bit spread out, and they're going to be trying to avoid tackle for as long as possible while they work on these Sleipnirs.
Here comes the chunking on this Vexor Navy issue. The Sleipnirs have finally caught up to it. The drone ball is on top of it, and there it goes. That's going to be a Vexor Navy issue down. Trading back for the Korax, though, as the Incursus for Last Huzzah starts to go down as well.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a web on the Sleipnir from the Incursus, but it's going to be dropping pretty soon. Holding the Sleipnirs in place and delaying them getting on top of the Ishtars is going to always be very valuable, and this Incursus isn't going to do a whole lot else except for maybe kill some Kestrels. So anything they can do to slow down the inevitable catching of these Ishtars, it means more time that they can apply sentry damage to the Sleipnirs.
Yep, exactly. The Sleipnir of Ollie Robo still boosting. As soon as he goes on reload, he's going to be in a lot of trouble, though, because he's already in roughly 20% shield. And they've switched damage to one of his Kestrel. Kestrel got a little bit close to the Ishtar, so they decided to take him down. Sagnetis in the trying to pull range right now, trying to get out of that sentry range there.
Yeah, if these Kestrels getting close to tackle, then they're going to become a big high priority target. But as it is right now, they just need to kill a Sleipnir fast. If they can knock down the Sleipnirs, it's going to be a huge, huge help for them, because it's going to mean that it's going to be a lot harder for them to get caught.
Ollie Robo's still boosting, though.
He is, and we've seen quite a bit of damage onto Anubis in the other Sleipnir. I'm wondering why they would switch targets. Ollie Robo is actually still in a fine position distance from these sentries. They should be able to hit him, but it looks like they're split damage. I'm not sure what's going on, but there is definitely a significant amount of damage being applied to both.
Well, they've caught the Myrmidon. If the Myrmidon goes down,
that's Lynx down, and that's going to hurt.
all Lynx.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it is going to go down. I really don't know why. I guess. No, the Ishtars are damped, but they should be able to assign their drones to any one that's not damped. It really, I mean, they're still, like, if they switch targets to Anubis straight up, that would be fine. I mean, if there's some reason they need to switch off of Ollie, but they're still doing damage to both, and that they're never going to kill these Sleipnirs with anything less than full damage.
The Myrmidon isn't just the Lynx; it's still a significant amount of sentry damage.
Yep.
Large 125 megabit drone bandwidth, and they're going to lose that as well. It's not bonus. Is it bonus damage?
Yep, it is damage bonus.
Yep, there you go. That's going to be a ton more damage off the field here. And they were already having trouble getting close to breaking the Sleipnirs even before they broke damage on Ollie Robo. They've switched the Kestrel. The Kestrel's going to go down, but trading the Kestrel for the Myrmidon isn't
There
really
is
going
a
to work
lot
out.
of weird stuff happening. So Ollie Robo there is sitting really close to those curators, but not really moving in a way that would reduce his damage and transversal. And he has a flight of light ECM drones out. Guess what those light ECM drones are trying to jam?
The Myrmidon.
One of the sentry drones.
What?
Yes. He has sicked his light ECM drones. They probably have auto aggroed. And they're just sitting there for like the past 45 seconds trying to jam a sentry drone.
All right.
Not the best choice of targets. I mean, not that it's going to be super useful against any of the Ishtars either, but still, we are.
It's at least useful for potential ECM or potential, electronic warfare on those Ishtars in the mids or something like that. Who knows?
I mean, we're not seeing any applied right now, but yeah, you still want to get it onto something else. But yes, right now, the ECM drones are not actually doing anything useful, just orbiting a Curator 2 and doing their best. And it's not even a piloted Curator 2. It's not even one that's moving. Or no, it's changing its targets. So at this point, we can afford this is actually in a really, really good place. They're head-on points, and unless Last Huzzah can really change things around a lot, they're not. I say that, Ollie starts taking a ton of damage again.
The thing is, they let him reload. If he reloaded in between now and the last time he was the primary.
Yeah, he would have been dead by now if they had just focused all their damage on him.
And they are going to, like, they have the potential to break him if they don't catch one of these Ishtars at some point.
So he is still in close to those Curators. Not really orbiting them, though. I'm not really sure what he's trying to go after the Ishtars here, but, or is he really, he's just kind of flying off into nowhere.
He's going to die here.
He is just flying off into nowhere. He might be trying to get range on the Curators, but that's actually not the best bet because he was so close to them. He really should have just came in and orbited them really close. But yes, it looks like he's going to die, and that would actually it would put Last Huzzah ahead on points. And since none of the Last Huzzah guys appear to be in any danger of getting caught.
There's Ollie Robo going down in the structure. Like, if he goes down,
Yeah, like he's currently just piloting directly away from the Curators, but he's still far too close. So yes,
there he goes. That's Ollie Robo going down. Last Huzzah is going to take this match. The Sleipnirs just can't catch anything, not effectively mitigating the drone damage.
So if you're the Sleipnirs, what you need to do right now is just try to catch one of these Ishtars. You still have hope. There's still 3 minutes left. Do your best to get on top of them while avoiding as much sentry damage as possible. But these Ishtars
are immediately next to each other. One.
And barely moving.
Yes.
Like they're slow boating and just like sitting there beside each other.
Are they being approached by any of
They're
these
like
Sleipnirs?
conga chaining.
What are the Sleipnirs
or
doing?
two of them. One of them is following the other. Maybe he's like multi-boxing or something.
Okay.
And the Sleipnirs are just sitting over here. The Sleipnirs are approaching them.
Okay, they've hit approach.
Or one of them. Yeah, they're both approaching.
Right.
I mean, if these Ishtars don't move, they're gonna just collide.
No, they're running away now.
Yeah,
they're attempting to flee.
Okay.
And they've turned on their micro warp drives.
So if you're the Sleipnirs, what you need to do right now is split up a bit. But actually, it's too late. I mean, at this point, now that we've got Rhinecraft there in going into armor, Last Huzzah, overall, they did the job, but in a setup like this where you're dropping sentries and kiting, you need to spread those Ishtars out more. This could have gone very badly for them. This is not what I would really call a strong performance, but it is going to do the job in the end of the day.
But ultimately, this match is the warm-up match for Team Cube versus Epic Vince winning tournaments. But as we say here, the one Sleipnir remaining, the Anubis Makat, going to try and deal with the damage from 3 Ishtars, but he has no way to make up the points. The best he can really hope for is for his Sleipnir to live, and maybe do some solo PvPing on Tranquility, because he won't be joining us for the tournament next weekend.
So can you think of why We Can't Afford This might have gone with a Basilisk instead of a Scimitar? Scimitar was not banned.
Scimitar wasn't banned.
I'm really not sure.
I do not know.
Like, this is just kind of an unusual setup. The triple Sleipnirs at Ology is a mainstay of tournaments, but the use of the Basilisk instead of the Scimitar is odd. There may be a reason behind it, but I'm not sure what it would be in this case.
Pilot skills?
Perhaps, but you'd think these guys, like, I mean, they're a pretty significant nullsec corp, but and then the Korax and Kestrels, I do like the range on them, but they didn't really seem to be able to apply damage to those Incursuses very well. I was really not impressed by how quickly
stop
the
the
Incursus
Incursuses.
Yeah.
Just keep them, just zone them out from the Basilisk. Make sure they can't get in there. Even if you lose the Kestrels in a straight up brawl to the Incursus, which is a brawl that you would probably lose, especially with light missile Kestrels, you've at least kept your Basilisk alive for some period of time. And maybe even in the retreat, the pull away, you pull the Incursus out of the... Well, wait a second, there's no logistics here at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying you could pull the Incursuses out of rep range, but there's no rep range here.
Yeah. Anyways, that is the end of the match. The Last Huzzah Ishtars decided to go man mode at the end there, charged in and finished off the Sleipnir, and that is going to be a victory for Last Huzzah, and We Can't Afford This is now out of the tournament.
Yep. Well, we'll see you back in the studio in just a couple seconds.